Okay, now layouts we have seen. Yes, we will see the layouts when we'll start implementing small stuffs. Okay, so linear layout is there. If you want to code, you can do like this way, or else you can directly drag and drop a linear layout. Then we have also talked about absolute layout is also there if you want to measure, yeah, put out the coordinates, put out the controls as per the coordinates level. Then yes, there is a table layout is also available. You have a relative layout, and yes, horizontal and vertical we just have seen in the last right. But before that, we'll just understand about a view actually, because layout is nothing but being inherited from the view. Okay, view group and view class, right? So we'll talk about that first, and we'll understand about the views. What are the different views controls which are there, and there is its positions inside the in the activity, or as far as layout is concerned. And yes, we'll also talk about some of the attributes part of it. Okay. So what are the attributes could be there? So this is a frame layout. Yes. Now coming to the, let me share the screen. Okay. Now coming to the part which we have seen, yes, there is an activity which we supposed to create. Okay. Okay, and on create we'll call that activity, okay, which is the main activity to be called whenever you launch an emulator or whenever you run a program, right? So inside this activity there is a layout which we told. So yes, we need to have a layout, okay, and okay, to put out your views inside in it. So yes, you should have a views which we call it as a controls, or which we call it as a UI element. So please remember this name, element. Or yes, okay. So this views, controls, and UI elements will be talking about. These views, controls, and UI elements will be placing here. So the layout that you are selecting, अगर आप कोई layout select करते हो, if you are selecting a layout, तो पहले एक screen पे एक आप border बना लेते हो. That is what you can call it as a layout, I can say. So if that border is being created, right? So that border could be your let's see, linear layout, or maybe constraint layout. Okay, constraint layout. Then you have frame layout, table layouts. Okay, whichever the kind of layout that we selected, right? And every obviously one layout can have any other layouts too also. जैसे कि अगर ये constraint layout है, this is the constraint layout which is there. Okay, maybe by default the screen has given me from an Android. So can I have a linear layout? Yes, I can have this linear layout inside that. Might be in a row wise. Okay, or maybe I can have a table layout too also. So let's see, this is a table layout. So it is as per the row and columns, right? So this is what we are nothing but a fragmentations or fragments that we are doing inside the screen, isn't it? Or maybe we are making frames kind of structures, right? So this we call it as a structure also, okay, of designing the screen and all. And now inside this layouts, we are putting out the views. So now views are nothing but actual controls. If you are putting out a button, if you are putting out a kind of label, text label that will be seeing, एक लेबल आप डाल रहे हो या फिर एक बटन डाल रहे हो आप, okay, okay, that has nothing but the views. So we'll be talking about views. How do we create those views inside that? What are the different views which are over? How it will look like here in the activity part? Okay, then obviously there are certain properties related to that views. So we say अगर ये controls है या फिर UI elements है, तो इनकी कुछ properties और attributes है. So attributes or properties means you can configure this thing. मतलब अगर मैं बटन पुट कर रहा हूँ तो वेयर आई शुड कीप द बटन, शुड आई हैव अ बटन इन बिटवीन the view, in between the screen of the mobile phone, or should I have at the top top right corner, okay, or maybe at the middle right corner, or maybe at the left right corner? Okay, where should I have it? Should I have it at the bottom of the screen? Okay, maybe in terms of tabular format. Okay, and should I have a certain font sizes to this? Can I have, if there is a text here, can I add some font size to it? Font size properties that we do in an HTML2 also using some tag attributes, right? So can I have a coloring to the background as well as to the fonts? Can I have any other animations to this so that it will be viewable as per the expected behavior, right? So there are a lot of questions that comes arises. Can we add these attributes? Can we provide these properties, or if it has its own property? Which properties by default होते हैं. Whenever you drag it, this is a by default thing. So if you wanted to change, then you can choose it later. So these all things that we're going to look. Yes, there are certain properties, attributes which are associated with it. So which we'll be talking ahead in the views. Okay. So let's start with the presentation. So yes, apart from these attributes, there is a certain common attributes I told you कि ये कुछ it was talking about height and width, isn't it? So yes, that we have also seen. So let's see अगर यहाँ पे if you could see this in activity.main. So there is this you can see this constraint layout itself is a kind of view itself. It's a view only, right? Even though it's a layout, it doesn't it is a kind of control, but it is a structure, okay, in which you drag it out. So here you can see this. If I show a design part, here I can see this constraint tree is there. If I drag a particular button, let's say if I drag a button, अगर मैं बटन को यहाँ पे प्लेस करता हूँ तो क्या होगा? बटन कोड will get generated. Okay, and here the button is going to be visible. So can you see this in the code? There is a button has been generated, isn't it? So button has been generated, and this button has certain properties which is already it is a default property which is coming from an Android. So apart from that, can we add a more properties? Yes, we can add a more properties. We can add a coloring and texting and size and every okay, which to the button view or a control it is, right? So yes, there are two properties which are actually the Android has added. So width and height, it has to be specified, because then only its position at least is going to be fixed. If you want an exact, then you'll have to use according to that. There has to be a layout to be selected, or else you can select your own custom configurations or attributes for this. Right, so here also you can change out the certain settings in the code which is already been created, or else you can go to the design parts. If you click on a button, here also you can see certain properties where also you will be able to change it. So now what are those properties which are there? Yes, there are certain two properties like an height and width is there. But apart from that, can we have more properties? Yes, we can have a more properties. So I'll just try to show you. Yes, we can have a more properties which can be used in having a complex Android applications, or having a much more functional applications. So what are those? We'll just go through that. Yes, layout width which I talked कि आप width दे सकते हो. अभी width कैसे देनी है? With which? जैसे yes, there is a match parent or match parent underscore parent, or maybe wrap content it is there. So wrap or match के बारे में we'll talk about. But apart from that, you can give width or height in terms of pixel also, in terms of pixel or DP also. So we'll talk about that also. Okay, what is that DP and pixel is all about? Height also, same thing. That is the coordinates in terms of pixel value and DP value, because the screen understands that. Yes, layout margin top, specify extra space on the top of the site. Yes, can we add a margin? Okay, key to shift, maybe giving a particular margin from a top and bottom. Bottom में आप margin दे सकते हैं. This is also all attributes which are there, which you have to specify. Left margin you can specify, right margin you can specify, gravity you can specify exactly at the center and all. Then layout width, width we can specify, right? So this is also a property which is associated with. Then next, there could be more properties also, like a coloring and all. So these all properties you can see. We can list it out here. So now we'll go with the one example for this. Now the text view. So looking at the Android screen, you can see this is the design mode which we are on. So here you can see all the views which are there. These are views, or we can say UI elements, anything you can call it. Layouts are also views, okay, which is nothing but the structuring of that, where you can put it out, and inside that you can place it out other controls too, right? So in which if you could click on a text, there is a text view, plain text, password, password. So all are ready-made views which are there. So you don't need to create those views as per the requirement. If you want a password, view will be there. So what is important in that? If you type something, so password will try to display an asterisk sign. So obviously you don't need to code inside in it having into this property. Already it is being set. So otherwise you will have to code a lot for that. So this coding is getting easier because of having this control, which is a ready-made one. So that is a plus point, right? So we just need to work on what exactly we want, what are the coordinates or attributes that we can specify as per the need, and let's see a little more about design, जैसे कि coloring करना और context की size को बताना, right? So these are the attributes. These are only some of the attributes which I have shown you. I accept the important ones, but apart from that, we can go ahead with more attributes too, also like a text size and color, which is also there. Okay, so it varies. It varies depends on what kind of where you exactly entering the controls in the relative layout or what layout. It will try to give those applications. Those options too also. So text view is one of the controls. So we'll just talk about a one control. कि exactly what is that? ये क्या है? So text view is a user interface control that is used to set and display the text to the user based on the our requirement. So ये text view control है जो क्या करेगा? Let's see, this is the text view. So this text view is nothing but if I drag it out here, let's see, text view is there. So can we specify as in constraint layouts? We can specify the positions wherever you want. So let's say I'm putting out in the bottom. Okay, so I'm putting out in the middle. So let's say text view is being placed. Just a minute. Huh? Fine. So yes, this is the text view just I kept it. So if you could see the coding part, you can see the text view code is generated. So the text view में आप देख सकते हो, there are certain constraints is being added to this. Okay, top of that it is a parent and all text view. Okay, and then there is a particular layout width in terms of DP. So we'll talk about this DP too also. But yes, there are certain default properties which are coming whenever you drag and drop the things, which is for you. If you want to change, if you want to delete certain properties, you can do that, right? Now we are understanding this key text view kya hai. What is this text view? This is a kind of control or a view. Text view control will act as a label control or it won't allow users to edit the text. एक simple text view होगा जो आपको edit करने के लिए permissions नहीं देगा. It is just a text that needs to be displayed on the screen. Okay. In Android, we can create a text view control in two ways, either in XML layout file or create an activity file. So you can create, if I want to create a one more, let's see if I want to create a one more text view. So I just wanted to, sorry. If I say text view, so automatically I can also create a text view. Okay, for this, let's see if I can specify, let's see, width of the text view needs to be specified. So let's see, I'll say match parent or wrap contents पहले डाल देते हैं, then we'll later on we'll change it out. Okay, height is match parent करते हैं. Okay, and if I want to specify what Android, okay, मुझे text देना है, text something to be given. It should be text view 2. Okay, the first is text view only, and then this is text view 2. I'll have to close this. Okay, so it is closed. So yes, it is there on the design part. Here you can see this. So we have not positioned the elements. So it is coming in because it is we have just given a height and width how it should be displayed. We are not specifying where exactly this position should be. As far as constraint layout is concerned, we can drag and drop in between the screen also. Let's see, I'm putting out here. Let's see. So this is there. And at the bottom, I'm putting out. So you can see this. Yes, here it is the layout editor, absolute layout is being called. So layout based on the constraint layout is given. So it is giving me X and Y coordinates, 7 dp and 143. So dp ke baare mein we will talk about that. So exactly you will understand what is meant by that and all. Right. So this is what a text view that you can drag and you can create if you want to. Now this text view is nothing but a view. So view is what important is. We have to understand about view. Right. So we have seen activity, we have seen layout part. Even we have seen a view a little more, because whatever we are talking is all about view. But let's understand what is view. So view is a basic building block of a user interface. So everything that you have, like you have a button, you have a layouts too, you have a widgets too, you have I think other like a Google views too. Then you have a text too. You have an image view too. You have a scroll bar too. Okay, everything is a view in Android. It's nothing but the user interface building block. That's it. View refers to the Android.view.view class, which is a super class of GI component like a test view. So ये सब classes का there is a super class called as a view, okay, which is being inherited or created from the view class. This is what we can say. So view can be considered as a rectangle on the screen. So wherever you drag a view and drop a view on the screen, जैसे आप view आप screen पे डालते हो, so it is being dragged and dropped by a rectangle. But this rectangle is not visible. If you run this code, अगर आप ये code run करते हो, if you run this design part, if you could see this, here you can see the design rectangle part. Whenever I drag the draw, even if I go with the button was there, na? This is the button. Can you see this button part? Right. So still you can this button you can get into the rectangle part also. Whatever, even radio views, any other views, if you could drop it, it will be dragged into the rectangle part, right? So this is a rectangle, but it is invisible. It is not visible to the users. Whenever you run it, it won't show you that this is shown as a rectangle inside that. Apart from button part only, because button itself as having a particular look size is like a rectangle only. But as far as text view is concerned, you won't differentiate whether exactly the rectangle is behind of it, right? So it is there. It can be image, piece of text, or anything that you can have an Android application can display. So everything, whatever you drag it, it's like a rectangle at the back end, and it is nothing but a view. So now the question is, what could be the size of this rectangle or should be? So हम लोग इसकी size क्या रखें? So yes, we'll talk about that. So before that, yes, how do we code or inherit a particular class? Okay, to use its own method. Okay, inside that, as far as extend kind of keywords is concerned. So yes, there is a base class called as a view, and then you have all button, text view, image view is nothing but a subclass of the view class. And then there is a view group class which is inherited from the view, where all layouts will come into picture. So all layouts will be part of the view group, you must say. So which will actually inherit all the properties of it. So this is the view structure as per the class being inherited. Now size I was talking, size की हम लोग बात कर रहे थे, size की. Let's talk about size. Let me. Yes, I think it's not visible. Okay, so let me get it on Paint. Okay, size, and then there is one more. Okay, so size needs to be given must. That is the one condition, because to display and all. Otherwise, if whatever the based on the layouts, it will give an absolute position sign. That is difference. But if you want to give it manually, it has to be height and width. So height and width you can give it to the match parent. So means it will occupy. Match parent क्या करता है? It will occupy the complete space available on the display device. अगर मैं match parent करता हूँ तो किसके अंदर I am putting out, अगर इसके अंदर है तो it will actually occupies the full space, right? So as per the your parent window is concerned. And the wrap content means it will occupy only the much space as required for its content. So अगर wrap parent मतलब जितना text का content है उतना ही उस button का height और width होगा, if I am specifying it. Are you understanding? Here you can see this. ये इसका जो width है, it is a match parent, but height है जो wrap content के हिसाब से. this is wrap content, ये इतना ही wrapped है, and this is match parent. So match parent मतलब exactly your width is matching the parent, so this is up to here. If your width is supposed to be wrap content, then it would have been like this way only, the same thing, like this way, right? This is there, right? So this is what exactly the size of that view that you can place. View की बात. So view में फिर anything could come a button, could come text, could come into text and everything. Now everything which is what you are trying to specify which will be listed as an attributes. It's not shown, it is an attributes inside this view. So it will be coded like this way. View name आपका button है, text है, edit है, जो भी है, it has a opening and closing text, right? And then inside that there is an attribute. So it's got text size, this is a value, true, false, something, match parent, width parent, fill parent, top of the margin, left, right, whatever. So it is going to list it out as per the properties mentioned for that particular view. So this is what we'll be able to code and create that. Now next is, yes, view groups. Now how it will look like on the screen. So that I'll show you. So let me show you exactly how it will be visible on the screen. So we have already seen, because Android Studio is still running at the buy side, so we are not, it is not difficult to understand how it looks and all. So I'm going simultaneously with the same, but still we have to go with little theory part. So view and view groups, it is what exactly the hierarchy has been mentioned. Everything is a UI element is a part of the view class. The view is a base class for every UI element in Android, including all layouts. Even layouts too also, जो आप layouts mention करते हो, that too be is nothing but a part of the view class that you have to mention. So all layouts are descendants of the view group class. So ठीक है, वो view group का already we have seen the structure part of it. Now how it will look like this? Yes, अगर if let's see this is the edit text, I think. So edit text will look like this. अगर मेरे पास कुछ radio buttons है, तो it will look like this on the screen. अगर मेरे buttons है, I can place it out here. So in this way you create a view. Okay, of even the everything is being dragged here is also going to be called as view, and this is the image too, or icon you can say, to display and all. So this is the one way of displaying something on the screen. There are a lot of things, a lot of ways where you can display the things, and how it would be coded, let's see in the next diagram. So how many views would be there? This will be more influence to show you exactly with the code too, see how it will look like that. So let's see कि mostly common used views कौन से है. Yes, text view, edit view, ये तो text view हम लोग लेते हैं. Button तो हमें चाहिए, image भी चाहिए, image button भी चाहिए, check box चाहिए, radio button चाहिए, list view चाहिए, grid view चाहिए, date picker चाहिए, spinner चाहिए. So most of these are all very commonly used views. So look at this diagram. So ये तो application of the project है. Okay. Now here if you this is what entire layout is, and in layout what we are trying out the controls. So controls में देखो, there is a one label. Okay, there is a one edit text button, edit text view. Then there is a button, because this is the button, and this is what nothing but your kind of we can say checkbox and radio button. So this is checkbox because you can check it out and you can select it as a radio button. So you just see its code. So ये text view है. This is what the text view is. Which one is this? This is a view. ये वाला है. This is edit text. ये वाला है, because this is editable text where you can enter something name while registering it for that. So this is also view. So ये है आपका edit text. This one. The button is this. ये वाला button है आपका. This is another view. You can see this. This is the name of the button to be given. Okay. Now it is this text that you can do anything. It is not something. Only this button needs to be unique. This text for two controls can be same, or yes, but ID couldn't be same, because ID will throw an error, because the ID is nothing but a handle while using in the programming that you already know with. Checkbox is this. This is the checkbox, and the radio button is this. Now we have understood about कि चलो ये looking at the code and looking at the diagram, we have understood कि yes, ये sub element is being placed on this, but and what layout has been used, which we are not known about it. हमें layout नहीं पता चल रहा है. So looking at this display also, you can judge कि ये sub elements horizontally placed हुए one by one. एक एक के below it is being placed. So isn't it a horizontal layout? But horizontal layout ऐसा है ही नहीं. There is a linear layout. Inside that there is a horizontal and vertical layout. So obviously this is what the tag is closed. So obviously ये linear layout के अंदर ये closing tag of the linear layout, obviously इसके आगे linear layout ही होगा, isn't it? And here you can see this Android dot something called as gravity, to all controls are being displayed at the center. So this is nothing but a linear layout, I would say. The code is not going to get displaced, but we can recognize it. ये linear layout है और ये horizontal है. It's not a vertical, right? Sorry, it's a vertical. Sorry, it's not a horizontal. Sorry, I forget to tell you. It's a vertical. So vertically, all elements are being placed. Sorry, horizontally अगर ऐसे जाते, horizontally will go like this way. Vertically they are going it. So it's a vertical. So and obviously in a registration form, or where you would like to enter the elements, it is preferred that it should be vertical. So yes, we'll be designing a registration for my head. So that time we'll use this layout. Okay, so here what we learn, we also learn about a layout. We learn also about the controls and how it can be coded. And these are the most commonly used controls. Okay, now yes, more diagrams to show you how it will be displayed. Even we are going to try on Android 2 also. No issue, but still I wanted to show you different controls so that you will get familiar in this way the display could be. Okay, so to create and all, it won't take too much time, but still you can have certain displays to be shown, right? So here in this way you can create a layout. So this also you can see this ये भी layouts है, linear layouts mostly we follow it, and then inside that we use a horizontal and vertical, depends on the need. So here there is a difference is ये देखो ये text view है, this is all already being used. ये edit text भी हम लोग ने देखा. Checkbox also we have seen, radio buttons we have seen it. Image view is something new to us. Then there is a image view 2 also, image view button and image view 2. Yes, there is a little difference for this. So it is going to show an image as a button, it can say. So if you click on this image, it will be nothing but a button only, but it is in the form of image, not a text. That is a difference. And here this is not. Yes, you have a clicking part of it, but actually this is just to display an image. I think you have an images to display as a static or dynamic pages, it will be there. And this is nothing but a pure button. And similarly here also you can see this. Now here there is a one more control is being picked up, that is called as a date picker. अगर हमारे application में date has to be selected, we will have to use this control, right? To select the date and then entering something details. If you are entering something, जैसे आप कुछ registrations करो जिसमें date has to be kept, कि birth date बतानी है, कुछ भी पता नहीं, तो you'll have to use this date picker. So that is only choice. You cannot enter the date in terms of textual formats, because finally it won't work, because finally date time is already being developed kind of controls which are there, which can use it ready-madely, right? So yes, readily you can use this. This is what the different views can be. Now we'll be talking about is very important. Okay, ठीक है sir, this we understood कि what we say. ठीक है, there is a layout, then there is a controls, then there is a positions or a size of that layout. Okay, but the problem is ये तो इतना screen है, but where to display and how it is going to display, in what proportion or what metric on the screen. अगर ये मोबाइल की स्क्रीन है, लेट मी ड्रॉ इट अगेन, जैसे यहाँ पे ड्रॉ इट, ठीक है, दिस इज द मोबाइल स्क्रीन. ओके, मोबाइल स्क्रीन पे यस आई कैन डिस्प्ले एज पर द कोऑर्डिनेट्स x and y. हॉरिजॉन्टल तो हॉरिजॉन्टली आई कैन डिस्प्ले इन बिटवीन सेंटर एंड मिडल समथिंग. बट अगर मैं कोऑर्डिनेट्स के हिसाब से स्पेसिफाई करना चाहूंगा, जैसे एब्सोल्यूट काइंड ऑफ कोऑर्डिनेट x and y है, तो मुझे, बिकॉज ये तो स्क्रीन है, तो स्क्रीन पे तो रिजोल्यूशन काम करता है, isn't it? स्क्रीन पे रिजोल्यूशन काम करता है, एंड यू कैन नॉट स्पेसिफाई इन टर्म्स ऑफ इंच और समथिंग कि आप ऐसा थोड़ी प्लेस कर दो कि मेरा मेरा जो पर्टिकुलर बटन है, इफ आई एम प्लेसिंग आउट द बटन, इट शुड बी 5 centimeter away from top margin, or maybe 10 centimeter away from top margin, and 5 centimeter away from left margin. So are you going to calculate in terms of centimeter on what? But the screen varies tablet to tablet, because this app is going to run on every kind of device. आपके टीवी पे रन हो सकता है। अगर आपने बोला कि 5 सेंटीमीटर है, बट अगर आप टीवी की बात करें तो टीवी का तो 5 सेंटीमीटर यहाँ पे खत्म हो जाएगा। दिस कंट्रोल विल गेट लिस्टेड आउट हियर ओनली, so it has to be in between middle. Then how you're going to see that, isn't it? So it varies with the devices and all also. So is it a measurement that 5 centimeter kind of attributes that we can specify for the placement of the controls or the views inside the layout or activity? No. So yes, there has to be understanding of the screen resolutions, okay, and the screen size too, okay, because depend on the screen size, on resolutions may vary. So normally, we call it as a HD, half HD, full HD, ultra HD, which you know it. So that is nothing but a high definition. Okay, it is nothing but a pixel resolutions only. Okay, so pixel, how the screen resolution is being measured in terms of pixels only. So yes, this is what it is shown here. The 120, 1280, these are the pixels. It shows that height resolutions of the screen would be, and 720. This is a screen size. Forget about this. Screen size it depends on manufacturers, okay, how much screen size should be. Obviously, screen size does matter for the resolutions which you can extend or not an issue about it. But even a small screen size also can have a higher resolutions too also, as far as your screen size is going to support that. Please understand that, right? So this is just a size only, but yes, obviously on the size also, this pixels values and matters also, okay, and maybe it depends on the screen quality to matters, right? Now these pixels are nothing but the height. It is specifying it, and horizontally normally these pixels values are specified. So here you can see 1280 is height. So pixels are nothing but a kind of elements on the screen, okay. It is nothing but some sort of valuable information to be displayed on the screen in terms of dots. So pixels are nothing but the dots. So 1820 is nothing but the dots, you can say. So more number of pixels, then more the denser the screen is. The density is more. जैसे एक particular box में अगर मैं let's see, I keep it something. जैसे कि एक बॉक्स में मैं कुछ मैंगोज रख रहा हूँ. If I'm keeping it 5 mangoes. Okay, so okay, that is, we can see the having a less density of that mango being placed. If I place बहुत सारे mangoes, right? So obviously it will increase the density of it. Okay, to occupy that particular thing. So obviously it is more denser and it is having a lesser density. So these are the two things, right? So if you have a more number of pixels, it is more denser, the screen would be, and if you have less number of this, it's a low density pixel phone or resolutions, right? Yes, we have a chance. हम लोग जब emulator select करते हैं, we do select an emulator, so we create an emulator as per the resolutions too also. See, we want that resolutions may support our images which we are trying to drag it and drop it, and we would get to know about how the display of the applications would happen, right? So yes, this is what screen resolution and size in terms of pixels. Pixels are nothing but a dots on the screen. Now let's move on with the slide. Now, how do we use this inside our Android Studio to specify a particular location or a size or something for a fan in terms of pixels or not? So now we have to understand for that is this. Okay. So yes, what we are going to understand is this part. Pixel, DP and SP. So we know pixel. The pixel तो आपने अभी बताया कि something is there on the screen in terms of a dot or something. अगर pixel के आप information भी देखोगे, it is nothing but a kind of information that would propagate on a screen only. So pixel actually what is? Actually image is nothing but the two-dimensional representation of the three-dimensional world. So pixel is represented by dot or a screen on a computer monitor display, or ये actually pixels is nothing but carrying the information. Actually, it has certain informations in it of that particular picture. Okay, and it has its own gray level too also. So that is pixel. So one physical, it is a measurement on the screen to be displayed. Display measurement we can say. It is a physical dot or a screen for a timings we are considering, because Abhi, right now we are not going to learn about image processing and all. So image, how this image is going to be displayed on the screen, what going to be the screen technologies behind that, and how this pixels varies with the screen technologies moving ahead and all. So we are not going to learn that. So what we are going to learn only is just understanding that yes, pixels proportions and attributes is important when you design a particular layout or when you design a particular controls position on your apps to be displayed. So in that purpose we are learning. So this is pixel. Density, now there is one more concept called as density independent pixels. DP we call it as. So what is that density independent pixels? Pixels unit that is independent of the density of the device screen. तो ऐसा कुछ unit है which will be density independent pixel screen कि जो low density वाला phone हो या फिर high density वाला phone हो. I'm talking about resolutions or the pixels. इसको हम लोग low और high density में we can measure. So this whatever that is going to be displayed, it won't get differentiated if you use this DP. It is said, it is being told like this way कि ऐसा कुछ DP है जो independent of the pixel होगा. So that's better than अगर कुछ independent of the pixel होगा तो एक कुछ unit क्या बोलते हैं हम लोग, जैसे हम लोग कुछ मेजरमेंट करते हैं जो दोनों जगह पे सेम हो, ऐसा कुछ करेंसी जो दो कंट्रीज में चलती है, तो कुछ से right. So irrespective of the conversion and all, so that is a good advantages. Okay, अगर ये country है तो every time we have to do the conversion part. So conversion part is very tedious, we know it. To take a particular transaction, the cost too also. But अगर ऐसा होता, if one currency can apt for two countries also, you don't need to convert it. Even whatever the conversions at the back end they'll be going to do it. So yeah, at the runtime, so that is more impactful. So can it happen in an Android runtime? Yes, it is going to be. So for that we are understanding this कि ये density independent pixels measurement है used to define a layout or views. तो ये हर एक views के लिए layout के लिए ये हमें use करना is good to have. It scales for the device screen density. ये resolutions के हिसाब से काम नहीं करता, density के हिसाब से काम करता है. Yes, तो इसका purpose क्या होगा we will see ahead in the slides, couple of slides ahead. So this is density independent pixel. This is pixel. Scale independent pixels similar to DP but used only for the text view size. ये DP ही है, it is like a DP only. Okay, but as per the screen resolutions के हिसाब से it will show that particular output. It scales as per the device screen density and user setting preference. तो ये display करता है अगर आप let's say now for this device how this text box should be able to display text view. So you can scroll it down and as per the screen resolutions it will work. So इसमें थोड़ा user setting preferences would comes into it apart from this. So ये तो है ही DP, but it has just one more part. So it is only applicable for a text view kind of thing. So obviously we have a views or controls. So हमें views or controls को ये pixels density या फिर scale independence के parameters में match करना है, judge करना है, configure करना है. So this is what pixel, DP and SP. Now moving ahead with the slide. Now this slide is very interesting slide. I think I should pick up this slide. Every time I'm cropping it so that it will be much more visible and can be explainable better for me too and for you too. So let's pick out these images. Talk about. Now, okay, we understood about pixel, DP, device independent pixel or density independent pixel. Then there is a scale independent pixel, right? Now we'll be talking about DPI. Okay, now what could be? Now here onwards there is a relation, right? Screen density measured in DPI. हम लोग DPI में screen density measure करते हैं, actually, right? So DPI क्या है? Dots per inch. That's it. dpi are nothing but dots per inch, or we can say a kind of pixels to be. Even finally dots are nothing but where you are going to put out your pixels, pixel information. And here you can see this. What is the difference? This is medium density dots per inch pixel phone. This is high density dots per pixel phone, and this is extra high, we can say. So you can see this. This is less denser. This is more denser. This is more or higher denser. तो ऑब्वियसली क्वालिटी किसमें अच्छी होगी? क्वालिटी तो इसमें अच्छी होगी, बिकॉज ये हाई डेंसिटी, इसको हम लोग इसमें डेंसिटी भी ज्यादा है तो मोर पिक्सेल्स आर गोइंग टू बी एंड दैट विल कैरी मोर इन्फॉर्मेशन. Actually, pixels carries more information, as I said, which is nothing but image representation or a display representation, I would say, right? And this is less. So yes, you can see this medium की density है 160 dpi, and then high की this की है 240, extra high की 320, then this is large extra, you can say 480, and then more than this is 640. Okay. So medium density pixels per inch and high density pixels per inch, where you can segregate this. This is what the density of the particular phone or resolutions would measure. Now, iska relations kya hai pixel ke sath? We'll understand in the next slide. So let's understand. Now we have to put out a pixel. Now the problem is कि problem ये है कि अगर मैं let's see if I say 100 pixel, let's see pixel में बोलता हूँ 100 pixel में वो particular button should be displayed and on, तो क्या होगा? एक low density पे this button will look like this, right? But if I take a higher density phone, and if I am having the same pixel button, then वो क्या होगा? यहाँ पे तो pixels are more, and then obviously this is going to be smaller as compared to this. So that difference would come. So even we are specifying 100 pixels, but you're just 100 pixels, but you are building an app where exactly 100 pixels you are specifying. But the problem is your screen density varies. So obviously, as per the density, your 100 pixels being displayed on this density dependent pixels is what something different. It's going to be different. So which you don't want to have, because aapka app is going to run on high density pixels too and low density pixels too. So obviously, your image would vary. So you don't want to do that. You want an image wherever I choose for a low density pixels. If I'm, क्योंकि मैं तो emulator पे ये resolutions पे test कर रहा हूँ. ओके, बट अगर हायर रिजोल्यूशन का फोन आता है तो मेरा जो लुक एंड फील होगा, इट विल नॉट बी द सेम. इट शुड बी द सेम एक्चुअली. इसीलिए आई हैव टू चूज अ डिवाइस इंडिपेंडेंट पिक्सल वे टू डू दिस. बट नॉर्मली आई एम गोइंग टू put it as a pixel only. But if I want to go with the DP, then I'll have to calculate some factor. Right. So yes, this is the way to calculate the factor. So we are not going to do any calculations here, but we are just understanding how it works actually. We are not going to do any calculations and then we are putting out in the Android Studio in the coding part. So no, we are just understanding why it is actually. So pixel is calculated by this way, dp into dpi divided by 160. तो dpi अगर वो पर्टिकुलर मोबाइल फोन का कितना है वो हमें पता है, dp कितना है, ओके, दैट वी आर पुटिंग आउट. अगर हम लोग कुछ एंड्रॉइड स्टूडियो में अगर मैं 200 कुछ dp मेंशन कर रहा हूँ तो वो क्या करेगा बराबर, विल ट्राई टू कैलकुलेट अ पिक्सल. So let's see for a medium density dots per pixel. Okay, अगर फोन है तो let's calculate a pixel for it. So px is equal to 1 px. So finally what we get is 1 dp is equal to 1 pixel. Actually here it is a dp actually, right? So 1 dp is equal to 1 pixel. तो अगर medium density वाला फोन है तो जो भी मैं पिक्सल्स मेंशन कर रहा हूँ विच इज नथिंग बट डीपी ओनली. तो अगर मैं 1 पिक्सल ले रहा हूँ तो इट इज 1 डीपी ओनली. अगर मैं 2 पिक्सल ले रहा हूँ तो इट इज 2 डीपी ओनली. बट अगर रिजोल्यूशन बढ़ा, if this density get increased, then it would not be same. It is not exactly same. It is going to be different. So for a high density, let's say 240 के लिए लेते हैं तो yes, there is a variation coming कि ये से बोल रहा है कि 1 dp के लिए 1.5 पिक्सल्स आर कमिंग. तो मतलब सिंपल है, 1 dp के लिए मुझे लो डेंसिटी, मीडियम डेंसिटी के लिए मुझे 1 पिक्सल भरना जरूरी है, बट 1 dp इन कंपेयर विथ हाई डेंसिटी हाई डॉट्स पर पिक्सल के लिए मुझे 1.5 पिक्सल्स भरने पड़ेंगे। तो मेरे पिक्सल्स बढ़ रहे हैं, इफ माई स्क्रीन डेंसिटी इज गोइंग टू गेट इंक्रीज। तो इससे क्या होगा, इफ आई एम मेंशनिंग अ पिक्सल इन द एंड्रॉइड स्टूडियो, तो क्या होगा, मेरे डीपी विल वैरी। तो डीपी वैरी होगा तो मेरा डिस्प्ले विल बी गेट वैरी। तो दैट इज द कंसेप्ट। Okay, so here you can see that factor is getting increased. इससे क्या होगा, let's understand in the next diagram. So that's what we are considering a DP as a input. So how it is, let's understand that. Okay, for today I think we are done with the timing. Fine. DP part and this X part will explain in the next lecture actually. So we are running out of time. Okay, so I want you people to okay, just close the meeting after I end the meeting and connect to the next lecture.